requires you to extend and develop the part of yourself that can give free attention. Leadership, in its true essence, is about facilitation. It's about listening, observing, and empowering others, creating space for others to contribute, collaborate, and grow. It is about drawing out ideas, managing conflicts, and ultimately guiding the team to consensus. Toastmasters environment provides us with enormous opportunities to grow both our leadership and communication skills. So I ask you, in line with the quote by Del Hunter, are you ready to extend and develop yourselves? You can unmute. I'm waiting for reactions. I will not proceed. Are you ready to extend and develop yourselves, Toastmasters?
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. For the benefit of our guests, Toastmasters meetings are usually divided into 3 segments. The first is a prepared speech segment, where we will have 2 speakers delivering their speeches based on the Toastmasters educational projects. The second is a table topic segment, where we practice impromptu speaking. And the third is the evaluation segment, where we receive evaluation and reports. This being an advanced Toastmasters club, we encourage each one of us to give feedback. So we are going to have a minute in between the speakers' prepared speeches to provide our feedback. I have been working with an amazing team to run this meeting. And my question to you and the rest of the role takers this evening with regards to the art of facilitation is, what is the one quality every good facilitator should have? I look forward to conversations that will help us to reflect and appreciate the art of facilitation. To start things off, allow me to introduce our timer, super grammarian, and general evaluator. Our timer is Toastmaster Paul Muwanga, a dual member of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club and Kampala South Toastmasters Club in Uganda. He indicated that active listening is the one quality that every good facilitator should have. Paul underscores the importance of understanding deeply, responding thoughtfully, and guiding discussions effectively. Toastmaster Paul, please introduce your role.
Thank you very much, our Toastmaster of the day. As a timer, I will be, my apologies. As your timer, I will be monitoring time for each speaker and meeting segments. I will alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red signals. For prepared speeches, the time is 5 to 7 minutes. And at 5 minutes, I will display the green card. At 6 minutes, I will display the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I'll display the red card. Table topics are 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll display the green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I will display the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I'll display the red card. Evaluations will be 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll display the green card. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I'll display the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll display the red card. Every time a speaker sees the red card, it means that they are out of time and should conclude their speeches within the next 30 seconds. I will record each speaker's time and present my report at the end of the session. Thank you, and I look forward to a timely and engaging meeting. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you very much for that clear explanation of your role. Toastmaster Tigist Hailu is our super grammarian, meaning that she will serve as grammarian, accounter, as well as language evaluator. She is currently serving as our club's sergeant at arms, and she is a dual member of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club and Blue Nile Toastmasters Club in Ethiopia. Tigist exemplifies poise and active listening skills are qualities any good facilitator ought to have. Tigist, kindly tell us more about your role.
Hey, thank you, Madam TMOD. As a super grammarian or your in-house acrobatist for this evening, my role includes listening carefully to everyone who speaks. I'll be noting excellent and improper use of language and overused words or filler sounds used as crutches, such as are, so, like, you know. I will also be noting and reporting on the usage of our word of the day, which I will actually promptly share. Can I have sharing request, please? Okay, thank you. Yes, so our word of the day for this evening is equanimous. Equanimous. I have also indicated the pronunciation guide there, and what it means is calm, balanced, and composed, especially under pressure or stress. Examples of its use go like, even during crisis, she remained equanimous and focused on solutions. Another example is he faced the long queue at the airport with equanimous patience. I also want to share with you some derivatives you can consider using. The first one is equanimity. And examples of its use is nothing tests your equanimity like taking the grammarian role in an advanced Toastmasters club, like I'm doing right now. And the second derivative is equanimously. And an example of its use is he listened equanimously to both sides of the argument. I have also indicated synonyms and antonyms. I'll be sharing it in the chat so you can refer to them later. And given that this is an advanced Toastmasters club, we're always trying to stretch ourselves. So I have also prepared the phrase of the day for us, and it's keep an even keel. It means to stay calm, steady, and emotionally balanced, especially during difficult or changing situations. And you may notice the meaning of our word of the day and phrase of the day is very similar. And what I actually just learned, although I'm familiar with this phrase, is that it comes from sailing. In a ship's keel is the bottom structure, which needs to be level for the ship or vessel to be stable and not rock dangerously. I thought that was an interesting detail. Examples of the use of the phrase of the day in a sentence, go like, even after the project delays, she managed to keep an even keel. Another one is he tried to keep an even keel no matter what life throws at him. So I'll be sharing these in the chat so you can continue to refer to them. So I will also be presenting brief language evaluations for each speech and will be giving a full report when called upon. Back to you, Madam TMOD. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tigist. Clearly, I know as you play this multiple role, you will keep an evil keel. As you practice a test, your equanimity. I know you will do an amazing job. Our general evaluator is our area director, Toastmaster Kodo, a member of Fasaha Bilingual Toastmasters Club, where she serves as Vice President membership. She states that every good facilitator should have clarity of mind and speech. Area Director Carol, kindly introduce your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Fatma. My role as a general evaluator started when the preparation started. So I'm already on the job, trying to just ensure that everything goes as it was planned. I can't keep an even keel, given the way the meeting has already started. So I will take into consideration everything that happens. I will raise flowers for everyone who does impeccably, and for sure, raise areas of improvement if there is any. Back to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, our general evaluator. We can't wait to hear your report. And now for the prepared speeches. I'll give us a fast tip. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, facilitation is a process. You need to think of it in the entire cycle, before, during, and after. And this calls for preparation at every stage, every step of the way. The greatest facilitator is the most prepared. And remember, it is a process, therefore you need to approach it from that particular perspective. Tonight, we will have two speakers who will present prepared speeches at different levels within their Toastmasters pathway journey. The first speaker tonight is our distinguished Toastmaster, Dr. Kevin Rubia. Dr. Rubia currently serves as the club's Vice President Education and Chair of District 114 Club Retention. He is a dual member of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club and Downtown Toastmasters Club. He believes that active listening is the single most important quality a good facilitator should have. He will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Derrick Mandela from Serah Toastmasters Club. Derrick, please go ahead and share the objectives as well as title of Dr. Kevin's speech. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Our first speaker is far from an equanimous being. However, with this speech, I hope that the audience draws lessons on equanimity that we can apply. Distinguished Toastmaster Kevin Rubia is delivering his second project under level 1, and the path is called Engaging Humor. He has 5 to 7 minutes to deliver this speech. And by the end of this speech, the purpose is that the speech can be delivered in any form. It might be humorous or informational, but we hope that we learn a thing or two about what mental health is and identify ways to improve our mental well-being. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker, Dr. Kevin Rubia, with the speech title, Mental Health 101. Mental Health 101, Dr. Kevin Rubia, DTM. Over to you.
Thank you, my evaluator, Derrick Mandela, distinguished Toastmasters. Distinguished Toastmaster friends, welcome to Mental Health 101. I am the resident clinical psychologist of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, and I'm glad that you've made it to today's webinar. Today, we will tackle our first session in this series of mental health. As it will be an introductory session, what we'll do today is define what mental health is, talk about the dimensions of mental health, and look at ways you and I can improve our mental health. I'd encourage you to engage me, especially in the chat and unmuting when called upon. That will ensure that we are all learning together and from each other. Let's begin. What is mental health? How can we define mental health? In your own language, what can you say mental health is? Feel free to raise your hand and unmute. We have mad people in the chat. Thank you for that, Leon. Anyone else? Balanced mind, Maggy Waithiru. Thank you. I see your contribution. Kevin Kimbio says, state of being without stress. I'll first tackle those three responses that I've received before I share the World Health Organization definition of mental health. Let's start with mad people. Mad people is the normal way, the usual way that you and I define people who are not mentally well. Unfortunately or fortunately, not everyone with mental illness will present as having madness. Madness may mean me, for example, starting to remove clothes during this presentation. However, I will not do that. One, because today is a webinar, and two, because I'm not mad, but I may still be mentally ill. We'll get to know about the symptoms of mental illness in Mental Health 102. Balanced mind, state of being without stress, resilient state of mind, and keeping an even keel are very good definitions of mental health. I've also used the phrase of the day. However, you can still have stress, friends, but the difference between mental illness and mental wellness is you're able to cope with your stress, as stress is a normal part of life. Let's now go deeper into the definition as given by WHO. And WHO defines mental health as a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with their abilities, learn and work well, and finally contribute to their community. That means if you're having a good mental well-being state, you're able to cope with the stresses of life as they do come and go. You're able to keep an even keel, to be equanimous in all that, realize your abilities, learn and work well, and contribute to the community around you, family, friends, or the Toastmasters community, for example. Now, mental health has three dimensions that we cannot forget to talk about. One is the emotional well-being. This is the ability of you and I to manage our emotions and express them in healthy ways. If I'm happy, for example, do I go running in the streets without clothes? No. I can as well rejoice or even do drum rolls where I'm seated. Next is your psychological well-being, your ability to learn and cope with stress and feel a sense of purpose. Even with the ups and downs of life, being able to learn, cope with whatever you're going through, keep an even keel, be equanimous is important, and still maintain your sense of purpose. Third is the social well-being, your ability to form relationships and contribute to your community. For example, you may have a boss that does not keep an even keel. It's up to you as the employee to manage that by being emotionally, psychologically, and socially well, so that you can cope with that situation. When he throws something at your face, you duck and then you smile and probably refer them to me because they need help. Now, we'll go to the next thing, which is how do we improve our mental health? And we are going to look at those three dimensions. This is another opportunity for you and I to interact together. One, how do we improve? How do you, as Brenda, as Mine, as Kenneth, improve your emotional well-being? Leon says, see a psychiatrist. Yes, you can do that as a preventive way. That's how Leon manages his. How about you? Your emotional well-being. I can see dancing, eating well, and good brain food. That is more of a cognitive or mental health, which is good. Exercising. I hug my mom. Oh, can we say oh to that? Exercise and healthy eating. Deep breaths. Deep breaths is a good way to manage your emotional well-being as you're able to calm down. Notice, friends, that your emotions are directly linked to your physical well-being. That's why you cannot have health without mental health. Hence, the jogging that we see in the chat, the eating well, good brain food, and deep breaths. Deep breaths help you calm down. What about your psychological well-being? Psychological well-being. Seeing a psychiatrist can help you do that. Consuming happy, meaningful content is crucial in helping you and I be psychologically stable. There is a common term known as doom scrolling, which is used to refer to looking at sad news. That can have a negative effect on our mental health, and therefore, friends, it's important to consume happy, meaningful content. The last one is the social well-being, which I see our area director has said, smiling and laughing is a good way to improve that. Our social well-being. Being able to come to such meetings, such gatherings where people uplift you, clap for you, even though you may have been talking nonsense, they're here to support you throughout the way. That is a good way to manage your social well-being. Great. We are almost coming to the end of our presentation. I will just share some other tips that you may not have mentioned. One is, these are my tips, the ones that I have used personally. Gratitude journal, for example, yesterday I participated in a contest. 2 contests, I won one and I did not win the other. I was still thankful for having participated and stood in front of an audience, share about my mental health journey and impact on people's lives, even though I did not win the international speech contest. Your psychological well-being, challenging negative thoughts. Have you ever thought, I am not enough? I cannot do it? Challenge that. Write it down. Ask yourself, why do I think I am not enough? That helps you go deeper and find the core reason as to why you're feeling that way. Lastly, your social well-being, engaging in fun, productive activities. For me, Toastmasters has been a safe space to explore my talents and also make a fool of myself without judgment. I agree, Leon, that thoughts are like moving clouds. The resources that I used to make this presentation are shown. World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health Mental Health Task Force. Why I chose this as a topic is that the Mental Health Task Force that I have cited in 2021 found out that 1 in every 10 patients that visit an outpatient clinic have a mental illness. That means if all of this was a clinic and we are the 27 of us, at least two of us could have mental health problems, mental illness. Therefore, it's important for us to know how to prevent mental illness, and that is why we have discussed this and shared how you and I can improve our mental health. As I do not see the timer cards, I'd like to ask, does anyone have a question on what you have learned so far? Yes, Maggie, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. for sharing that wonderful presentation. It is often said that some of the problems that we have or diseases that we carry are genetic. To what extent is mental health a genetic issue?
Thank you for that question. Mental health is to a great extent a genetic issue. It just depends on which particular illness we are talking about. The prevalence varies from condition to condition. And so that I do not give everything away, I will ask you and all those who are interested to tune into the second session where we'll go into the causes of mental illness, the genetic factors, lifestyle factors, etc., to learn more. Thank you for that. Any other question? Yes, Dan.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm talking about the prevalence of mental illness. Is it getting worse or are we getting better generally? Are we having a crisis of mental health or it's a benign situation at this stage?
Thank you for that important question, Dan. There are estimates that, let me just get to that specific site, that in 2030, depression will be a major world concern. I do not have the particular citation. That said, we are at a good time where there is a lot of mental health awareness. That's the beauty of it, that through attending sessions like this, you and I can be better prepared to learn about our mental health and improve our mental status. That's why you may see that there is a rise of mental health cases. It's not necessarily because things are worse. It is just that people are seeking help and therefore reporting more cases. Yes, there are challenges that people in the past were not facing and we are facing. Hence, the need to, for example, work out more as opposed to embrace a sedentary lifestyle. But as long as we learn to prevent mental illness, we are good to go. I feel that our time is much done. Again, as I said, tune in to our next session where we shall go through mental health 102 and we shall go into what specifically causes mental illness. Should you have any burning question, feel free to reach out to me on social media, on my phone number, particularly on WhatsApp, before 9 p.m. And using that email address shown, you can take a screenshot. Thank you. You have been a fantastic audience. Thank you for your participation, and I wish you all the best as we spread the news on mental health and wellness. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, our distinguished Toastmaster, Dr. Kevin. Let us take a minute to give Dr. Kevin some feedback. As an advanced club, we value feedback from our audience. So let's take a minute to give him feedback. I believe we have all provided feedback. Well done. I like the reminders to practice equanimity and ways of keeping an evil kill thrown in throughout that session. And I will remember to reach out before 9 p.m. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Maggy Waithiru, our Vice President Public Relations. Maggy is a dedicated Toastmaster, and she's a triple member belonging to Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters, Runda Elite Toastmaster, and Tandao Toastmasters Club. Maggy shares that knowledge of the audience is the most important aspect for a good facilitator. Maggy will be evaluated by Toastmaster Segametsi Moumakwa. Segametsi, kindly share the objectives and title of Maggy's speech. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Today, I have the pleasure of evaluating Toastmaster Maggy, and the objectives of her speech is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance their speech. I'm looking forward to your speech, expecting you to be equanimous in your content, as that will be what I will be evaluating, as I will be focusing mostly on your content. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Apologies, do I need to introduce Toastmaster Maggy? Can you please do it, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, please?
Yes, please. Kindly go ahead and introduce our second speaker. Over to you.
Oh, okay. Fellow Toastmasters, please welcome our second speaker, Toastmaster Maggy Waithiru, with a speech title. I apologize, I don't have the speech title in front of me. Toastmaster Maggy Waithiru. Po, 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 po.
Thank you, Senga. Timer, wait, let me just tell you, the speech title is Blasts from the Past.
Blast from the past.
Right. I am often fascinated and disappointed as I observe how the younger generation treat the older generation and how the older generation treats the younger generation. I often remember that, and I want to tell them that the young people, one day you will be older. Older people, remember, one day you too were young. It's against the backdrop of this observation that I embarked on a fascinating journey that was also inspired by a book I had read titled Halftime by Bob Dufford, moving from success to significance. In that season, I started looking at my life and broke it down into decades. 5, to be precise. And I started reflecting on my life, decade after decade, and writing the lessons that I had learned over the years, experiences that I had encountered, some painful, some exciting. As I wrote down these lessons, I realized we move too fast with life that we forget the beauty of life. I call these my series of blasts from the past. I'll share with you 2 blasts because, as you've heard, there are 5 decades. I cannot share with you my 5 lessons. So 2 blasts centered around my topic of my favorite topic, wellness. Blast number 1, forgive and forget. Blast number 2, take care. Blast number 1, forgive and forget, is drawn heavily from my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th decade. That means from my teenage 20s and 30s, mainly 20s and 30s. Kindly indulge me, ladies and gentlemen, and mute yourself and let me know by saying yes if you have you ever fallen, who here has ever fallen in love, deeply, madly in love? Say I. Unmute and say I.
I.
Thank you very much. I'm glad I'm not alone. Still,
I.
when you're muted, who here has ever had their heart broken and even broken somebody else's heart? Say I.
Aye.
Thank you.
I.
I'm in very good company. If you have enjoyed those seasons of love and lack of love, you do know how painful it can be and how joyful it can be. Centering on how painful it can be, we carry a lot of pain, ladies and gentlemen. We are hunched over because of unforgiveness. There was a young gentleman who walked the earth, who I love very much, one of my favorite teachers. His name was Jesus. And he taught us that we must forgive, not once, not twice. He told us to forgive 70 times, 7 times, 490 times. How am I staying around for somebody to hurt my feelings 490 times? They'll be lucky if they get to 5. But I know that if I don't forgive, it's like what Nelson Mandela said. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. John Hopkins School of Medicine tells us that to enjoy unmatched equanimity, we must forgive. Because if we don't forgive, we will carry stress, we will get ulcers, we will have high blood pressure. Who wants that? Not me. And I'm sure you don't want that either for yourself. Therefore, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I have a suggestion for you. If there is a person that you really want to forgive and you're struggling, take a piece of paper and a pen, write them a letter, go deep, tell them everything that you feel and what they made you feel on that day. Read it, cry, then tear it. Please don't send it to them. That's giving them too much power. Tear it and trash it. Believe you me, it will give you an even keel in terms of wellness. And you can always thank me later as your therapist. Blast number 2, taking care of your body. Look at yourself. Just look at yourself. There's just you, one of you, one body. When I was reflecting at my last decades of life, I realized with joy and jubilation that I have been taking care of my body through physical exercise and being careful about what I eat for more than half my life. That made me feel so good. And I can see Doc wondering, really? How do you do that? How did I do that? I picked something that I liked and I enjoyed. And when it stopped serving me, I dropped it, picked up something else, and continued. When I started exercising in my mid-20s, ladies and gentlemen, all you could do was aerobics or step aerobics. The end. We didn't run on the streets. We didn't walk we didn't run unless somebody was chasing us, and we didn't walk. Why should we? There was no traffic. We took a matatu wherever we wanted to go. Today we have so many options, and anyway, there's so much traffic on the road. Why would you want to sit on the road where you can walk or cycle to work? It doesn't matter how old you are. You can start today to take care of this one vessel that God gave you for you to be able to serve your purpose. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, back to the statement I made at the beginning about my observation that older people treat younger people as if they were never old. Younger people treat older people as if they'll never get old. Pray that they get old. Do not forget that you must forgive those who have wronged you. It serves you no purpose to carry the burden. Take care of your body is my final message, because God has only given you one body take good care of it. Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Maggy. Be sure that I am ready to write and tear as I practice that strategy to keep an evil kill. Thank you very much. Toastmasters and guests, let us take a minute to provide feedback to our second speaker. Thank you very much. Let us now vote for our better speaker using the pop-up ballot on the screen. Before we move on to the next segment, allow us to have the second tip. For you to be an amazing facilitator, you have to listen actively. Facilitation isn't about talking, it's about hearing what is really being said. The context matters. Ask the right questions. Help ideas surface. The better you listen, the better the discussion happens. As we move to our second segment, which is the table topics segment, this segment will be facilitated by Area Director Toastmaster Gladwell Mwiti, who is from Juja Toastmasters Club. She states that every good facilitator should be an active listener. Toastmaster Gladwell, the floor is yours to lead this segment. Over to you.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening. It's an honor today to be leading the table topic section in Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. For the sake of our guests, table topics is about thinking on our feet. We are going to be responding to questions and we need to answer them between 1 and 2 minutes. Let's be equanimous and do not be afraid to answer any of these questions. I'll quickly move on to our questions tonight. Just 1 minute. And our first question is, what is one thing you wish you knew about facilitation 5 years ago that you know now? What is the one thing you wish you knew about facilitation 5 years ago that you know now? This question goes to DTM Robert Karanja.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day. What did I know about, what didn't I know about facilitation last year that I know about right now? Is that correct?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think one of the greatest things that I witnessed, especially as a Toastmaster, is being trained by excellent facilitators. And the one thing I didn't know about facilitating any kind of situation is the amount of time that needs to go into it. And one of the best facilitators that I've ever seen spent almost 20 hours preparing for a 2-hour segment. And from the takeaway that you could get out of it, from the smoothness of how it ran, from the fact that you felt that the time that you had spent in that session was very well spent, then you realize that in order for you to deliver outstanding results, you need to put in the time. And I think it goes to every area of our lives. Often we see people performing an excellent job in whatever area in their lives. We see people running extremely fast. We see excellent sportsmen. We see excellent business people, but we do not realize the amount of time that they have put into that activity in order for them to get that good. And one of the greatest takeaway lessons for me is that for me to get good at anything, I need to first of all put in a number of hours into that activity, and it's going to show in the end. So that is what I learned about facilitation. Excellent facilitation requires you to put a significant amount of preparation time. Back to you.
Thank you, DTM. Robert, we need to take time to prepare as a facilitator when you have to facilitate a session. Our next question is, describe a time when you were a participant in a poorly facilitated meeting. What was missing? Describe a time when you were a participant in a poorly facilitated meeting. What was missing? This question goes to Sydney Ngede.
Thank you very much, Eddie Gladwell. It was 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, I must say. And it was a workshop that we had been invited. My first observation was we didn't have, the facilitator had not shared with us a program of events. So I had a high expectation, which were cut short immediately we walked into the room. And from that experience, I realized how important it is, especially if as a facilitator, you need to prepare in advance, but more than above that, I noticed something else. Their content did not meet the expectation. So they had not understood the audience and what the gap was. And it was a session full of entrepreneurs, all at different stages, but they were speaking as to employees. For that reason, I felt that facilitation was not well prepared. One, in terms of what the program of event will be about, and two, who the audience is. Therefore, their content was not able to deliver to the expectation. Thank you, Eddie Gladwell.
Thank you, Sydney. What is he saying? We really need to prepare and share the agenda of the session beforehand so that our audience is in tandem with the facilitator. Secondly, let us understand the audience that we are preparing for as we prepare our session of facilitation. Our third question: if you had the opportunity to get a message across to a large group of people, what would your message be? I would like to give this opportunity to one of our guests. And our guests should relax and know that this is an opportunity to think on your feet and to respond to this question in 1 to 2 minutes, not less than a minute, and don't go beyond 2 minutes. Gathoni Kimani.
Thank you, A.D. Gladwell. If I was facilitating a meeting and it's a large group of people, what I would like them to know, or what I would try to communicate to them, is first thing to listen. In any setup where two or more gathered, you can only communicate properly if you listen to the other person. Secondly, tying it to the listening issue, we should listen from a point of gathering information. So most times we find that we will listen from either our triggers or listening to be able to respond. So working towards listening to gather information helps us maintain an even keel. So keep an even keel, so we're able to engage further, have a fruitful discussion, build on what we're trying to do and what the objectives we're trying to maintain. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Gathoni. We listen to build on our discussion. Therefore, we need to be active listeners. Timer, do we have more time?
We can have one more.
Thank you. Describe a time you had to deliver difficult feedback or manage a challenging moment in a group setting. Describe a time you had to deliver difficult feedback or manage a challenging moment in a group setting. This question goes to Janet Boyani.
The most difficult challenge I've faced when delivering a challenging feedback is when I was leading a team. And during that time, fast forward, I work in a marketing field, and we have targets. We deal with targets. This particular time, it was a very low season, and the employer expected that the results have to be best results for that year. And what he did, he increased the target for us, for the team, without even considering that the economic times were not the same, and we were facing some challenges since the economic, there were some rules and procedures that had changed that affected our feedback, our performance. So when delivering that message to my team, my juniors, I had to really find a way to talk to them and tell them, this is what we have. It's not like the other year. We have to work extra hard for us to be able to meet these targets. It's one of the moments that I felt like I had a really challenge to convince my team that we really have to work hard for this. And at the end of the day, we are required to deliver. Back to you.
Thank you, Janet, and congratulations to you for being courageous as a leader and being able to communicate and give the not so good feedback. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, and thank you so much to all the participants of the table topic section.
Thank you very much. A round of applause to our table topics master. Let us kindly vote for the best table topic speaker. And congratulations for keeping your keel and ensuring that you answer the questions with lots of confidence. Well done to all of you. As we move on to the next segment, allow us to look at the third tip. For you to be a great facilitator, you ought to be the guide. This means that you have to be neutral. You have to empower others. You have to allow yourself to let people contribute, collaborate, and grow. Guide the conversation. Keep the team focused. Don't take sides. Remember, you are the guide. We move on to the third segment of the meeting, which is on evaluation and reporting. We will have the evaluations of the prepared speeches first. And our prepared speeches will be evaluated on 3 aspects. The first is the content, the second is the delivery, and the third is the grammar. Distinguished Toastmaster Derrick Mandela will evaluate the content of Dr. Rubia's speech. Derrick is from SEMA Toastmasters Club, and for him, a great facilitator ought to be a great listener. That is the key definition between what your audience walks out with, and he reiterates that that is what the name suggests. Facilitate. You are there to facilitate learning or a conversation. The delivery of the speech will be evaluated by our club treasurer and secretary, Toastmaster Serah Wanjiku. She will evaluate on the delivery aspect. And on the grammar, we will have our super grammarian, Toastmaster Tigist. So Toastmaster, our distinguished Toastmaster Derrick will start, then hand over to Toastmaster Serah, then hand over to Toastmaster Tigist. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Derrick Mandela.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. I'm glad to have been evaluating Dr. Kevin Rubia on this speech that I found quite interesting. My evaluation, as you've heard from the Toastmaster of the Day, is based on the content of the speech that was delivered, and I'll be looking at 3 areas. One is the speech development, second was the audience response, and lastly is the speech value. So I'll begin with the last. Dr. Kevin Rubia, I was analyzing your speech and I felt that it was apt given where we are in the world, talking about mental health. The thought was original based on your perspective as a medical doctor, and I found that you giving insights that are not only from a theoretical perspective, but also from your background and experience was very helpful to the audience. And this begs my next question. How did you engage with the audience? This was the audience's responses. This was a sensitive topic, and you made sure that the audience were incorporated in your speech. You had numerous questions that you threw out to the audience, not once, not twice, not thrice, and you got responses. So kudos to you for inculcating that in your speech. And also I'd like to thank the audience for engaging the speaker, that is Kevin Rubia, by giving him your feedback and also asking some personal questions, which Rubia responded very well. I'll move over to the third aspect, which is speech development, and give you my analysis. First, your introduction was spot on. I feel that as a facilitator or a speaker, because I felt you're facilitating a session on mental health, you're able to tell us as the audience, one, that this was going to be a 3-part series or 2-part. It was going to be in some sort of part. It was going to be broken down, and hence the speech title, Mental Health 101. This is to prepare the audience for the next session. What else did I love about the speech structure? You use supporting documentation about the World Health Organization. And at some point, I loved when you did not have reference materials. You actually admitted to us as the audience that you could not find citations, and you'd get back to us on that. Your slides were clean, precise, and you're able to move with the pointers from the 3 areas that you spoke about, and we were following through your speech. Dr. Rubia, the following are my suggestions on this speech. One, I felt that the introduction was overly too long. The speech title itself prepared the audience on what they were going to say. I also told the audience on what to expect from your speech. So I felt that you'd have made the speech introduction short and snappier. It was very funny because you mentioned you are the resident therapist of the club, and then use the allotted time to get into the main content of your speech. Because of time, allow me to give you additional feedback on the other sideline as I invite the next evaluator Toastmaster Serah Wanjiku. Thank you, and over to you, Serah.
Thank you, Derrick Mandela DTM, for this opportunity. Toastmaster Kevin Rubia DTM, you equanimously did this speech. You were so calm, yet the topic was so sensitive, and that was so admirable. And I really, really enjoyed it. So I'll go straight to my duty this evening. And as your delivery evaluator, I will concentrate on the physical appearance, the platform, and also your voice and how you did all this in this particular speech. I'll start by commending the color of your shirt, the color that you chose today, and also the color on your screen with all the slides. That was a breath of fresh air. And considering that this was a topic that sometimes can dampen the moods, it was a mood lifter. So good choice of colors on that. I saw very good eye contact, irrespective of the spectacles. Yes, I was that keen, so keep it up. You understand the use of hand gestures and you use them to support your content. Very well done. Your volume and your flexibility of your voice was quite excellent. And you did good use of technology, and your slides were the most professional slides I have seen in a very long time. They were brief, to the point. You captured what you wanted the audience to get, and that was really, really good. I loved how the audience felt included, as you made sure that nobody was left behind with a question that was unanswered, and this showed a lot of enthusiasm in the topic that you were talking about, and I could see the passion. The good use of humor, I never would have thought that humor would have come in this topic, and it was very well articulated. It was also sensitive, and it was put in just the right places. Very well done, like a well-marinated meat. There are areas that I feel that you can do even better. As a professional speaker, this is what I felt. Maybe you can improve on your tone to avoid sounding robotic. And I know this is a technical and professional topic, but maybe sometimes show a bit of emotion. You showed it just once, but all through you maintain the same volume. So maybe try and play around with the tone of your voice to show a bit of humanness. I know you'll get, as a seasoned Toastmaster, I know you understand what I'm saying. Also, your rate was a bit on the slow side, which I can't really be objective because I know you personally and I know how you speak. So maybe I learned more on how I know how you speak. Yes. Also, unintentional gestures. I know you speak using your hands a lot, like I do. So at some point you would use gestures that are not needed. So maybe we can work on that. I'm also speaking to myself. Now, because of the multitasking of working on your screen, doing your slides, and also being seated, you look like you are fidgeting on your chair. So for somebody who is not very conversant on what is going on, they'd be wondering, why is the doctor like this? So maybe next time you can try standing and someone to manage the slides for you, maybe the sergeant at arms, or find a way to do it as you stand. Because also when you sit, the voice sort of tends to be swallowed in. And with that, I encourage you to continue. I loved your presentation. I would even pay for that webinar because it is a lifesaver. Keep on doing what you're doing. Not all heroes wear caps, and all the best. I now give the stage over to the grammarian, our super grammarian.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Serah. As the super grammarian, what I looked for in DTM Kevin Rubia's speech was looking for appropriateness of, checking for appropriateness of language for the topic he was speaking on, as well as clarity. I was also keenly looking at the grammar and pronunciation, noting very good and improper use. I have also usage of word and phrase of the day. DTM Kevin Rubia, as a seasoned Toastmaster, you've done extremely well on all these fronts. And I think what I want to commend you on most is for the great deal of clarity you spoke with. This is a medical topic and you're a medical doctor. So it would have been a temptation, I imagine, to include medical terms that may have been very difficult for us to follow. But instead, you deliberately simplified the language and chose language that amplified your message and made it very engaging for us. I have noted expressions like ups and downs of life. When you were talking about stress, you said, when things are thrown at us, we should duck to avoid them. You talked about brain food. You talked about doom scrolling and explained what it means. So I really appreciated that. In terms of grammatical errors, when they call you a super grammarian, they're setting you up, right? So you have to be, in a way, also fault finding. So I really, really tried hard, but I couldn't spot a glaring, grammatic error, except, here and there, lapses in expression that kind of fell on the informal side sometimes. For instance, you said the reports that I have used are there, but you could have said, I'm sharing on the screen the reports that I have referred to in preparing this presentation. And a few other, minor expressions like that. And in terms of usage of the word and phrase of the day, I have noted the word of the day twice and the phrase of the day 3 times. Overall, DTM Kevin Rubia, congratulations on your excellent speech. Delivered extremely well, particularly with a great use of grammar. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much for that balanced feedback. On to our second speaker's evaluation. Our distinguished Toastmaster, Segametsi Moumakwa, will evaluate the contents delivered by Toastmaster Maggy Waithiru. For her, listening skills stand out as a key aspect for any great facilitator. Our Toastmaster, Kevin Kimbio, who is the club's immediate past president, will evaluate delivery of the speech. And for language, we will have our super grammarian, Toastmaster Tigist, to come back and tell us something about the language used by Toastmaster Maggy Waithiru. We are going to use the same approach. So we will start with distinguished Toastmaster Segametsi. Thereafter, she will hand over to Toastmaster Kevin, and thereafter we will have Toastmaster Tigist. Over to you, our distinguished Toastmaster Segametsi.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. What a wonderful speech, Toastmaster Maggy. Blast from the past. I know you were concerned about the structure of the speech. You asked me to pay attention to that, and I can say that there was nothing wrong with the structure. I was able to identify the opening, the body, and the closing. Now, what did I like about your speech? The content was engaging. I liked that you gave examples that we could all relate to. You spoke about Nelson Mandela, and if a person doesn't know Nelson Mandela, I'm hoping that at least they would know Jesus. I loved the quotation about drinking poison and hoping somebody else will die, and also how many times we must forgive. And you delivered all of this peppered with humor. Excellent closing by summarizing the 2 blasts from the past. What do I think you can improve? Your opening captured my attention, but as you continued with the speech, I could not link it to the rest of the speech. You then picked it up towards the end of the speech, and I was relieved. But in my opinion, that part didn't really enhance your speech. I know you were concerned about the length of the speech. You were not sure what you should have trimmed. To me, that part about the youth and the old people, that's the part that I would have cut out of your speech. I would rather have you start with the two questions about, have you ever been in love? Have you ever had your heart broken? That would have been an excellent opening. Otherwise, I loved the speech. It was humorous, it was relatable, and equanimous content. Congratulations, you have achieved the objectives of this project. I am going to hand over to you, Delivery Evaluator Kevin Kimbio. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Segametsi. Thank you so much, Maggy, for your vibrant and well-delivered speech. A blast from the past indeed it was. One of the items that I was supposed to focus myself on in the evaluation of your delivery was on how you developed your platform. And let me say that you had outstanding use of your stage. This being a speech where you are introduced to vocal variety and body language, one of the items I was also supposed to focus myself on was on how your body language was intentional or unintentional. Let me say that all your movements served to visually anchor your audience to your speech, and you really did excel in that. Another place that I found you excelled in was in your use of props. Definitely, you introduced us to a very novel way of forgiving and forgetting, which will be very memorable even after the speech. One of the points that I found that you could do better was in the power of the pause. Whereas you spoke with great pace, your speech was very well paced, and you introduced pauses as a break, I would encourage you to explore further uses of the pause as an emotional punctuation mark. And this will serve to increase the equanimity of your speech and give your delivery more impact. With that said and done, I think if you continue developing your better use of the stage as you have been doing before, and if you continue exploring the power of the pause, not only as a break, but as an emotional punctuation mark, you'll become a better speaker. And with that said and done, let me hand it over to our acrobat in today's session, our grammar evaluator, Tigist Hailu. Over to you, Tigist.
Thank you so much, TM Kevin Kimbio. Acrobat indeed. I'm sweating back here. So as I had stated earlier on evaluating Toastmaster Maggy Waithiru's speech, I'll also be commenting on the appropriateness of language for the topic she covered, her clarity, also noting use of Grammarian pronunciation, pointing out where she did well and areas for improvement. I'll also be commenting on her use of the word and phrase of the day. Really, if today, I'll be judged based on how much fault I have found with the speakers, I'm in a big trouble because we have two very, seasoned speakers, and Toastmaster Maggy, as a seasoned Toastmaster, you also have done extremely well on all measures. You spoke with great clarity. You used expressions, phrases that match your topic perfectly, and your topic was, reflecting on your life and sharing with us lessons. You said you're both fascinated and disappointed. You said, you find it painful and exciting. You talked about forgive and forget a lot. You used our vessel, referring to our body. And you said to enjoy equanimity, we must forgive. So it was your use of language that is very simple, vivid, and engaging made your speech very easy to follow, and added impact to the message you're trying to pass. Again, I haven't noted any, grammar errors that are worth mentioning. In terms of the use of word and phrase of the day, I have noted you have used both of them once. And, overall, I just want to commend you for an excellent speech. You've delivered a great message with great deal of clarity, demonstrating excellent use of grammar. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toast. Evening.
Thank you very much for that wonderful feedback. And now we move to the reports. I will invite our timer, our super grammarian, our general evaluator. We will start with our timer. Toastmaster Paul Muwanga, kindly present your report.
Thank you very much, TMOD. I need to apologize. I didn't know that my video was not, my cards were not audible, were not visible, sorry. And for that reason, Toastmaster Kevin Rubia spoke for 15 minutes and 6 seconds. He was evaluated by DTM Derrick for 3 minutes, 22 seconds. Toastmaster Serah for 4 minutes, 32 seconds. And Toastmaster Tigist for 2 minutes and 34 seconds. The second speaker, Toastmaster Maggy, spoke for 7 minutes, 28 seconds, and was evaluated by DTM Segametsi for 2 minutes, 34 seconds. Toastmaster Kevin for 1 minute, 40 seconds, and Toastmaster Tigist for 2 minutes, 22 seconds. For our table topics, DTM Robert spoke for 1 minute, 43 seconds. Toastmaster Sydney spoke for 1 minute, 25 seconds. Our guest, Gathoni Kimani, spoke for 1 minute. And Janet Mboyani spoke for 1 minute, 30 seconds. Thank you very much for keeping time. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you very much, Paul, for that report. I see we have professional speakers here. Thus the use of time. Kindly let us vote for our better evaluator. We had a number of evaluators. Please vote for the best evaluator. Then we will be back on the reports. Thank you for that, our Sergeant at Arms and President, for launching that particular poll. Allow us to proceed back to the reports that we had started earlier on. We will now invite our super grammarian, Tigist. Tigist, kindly present your reports. And I am sure as you give us your reports, you will keep an even keel. You will ensure that you are equanimous because you have done an amazing job balancing all the different roles. Over to you, Tigist.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. I really want to commend the super grammarian. I think she did a very good job in the choice of word and phrase of the day, because it was almost getting difficult for me to keep track. You'll agree with me, they fitted the flow of the meeting and we all used them a lot. I have noted 19 combined use of the word and phrase of the day. Let me acknowledge people who used it quickly. The Toastmaster of the day, has used the phrase of the day 4 times and the word of the day twice. I'm sure I may have missed. She probably used it more. Our general evaluator used it once, the first speaker twice. Let me skip the speakers because I have mentioned. Gatoni Kimani, whom I think is a guest, used our phrase of the day once. The content evaluator, Toastmaster Segametsi, used our word of the day twice. The table topics master used it once. TM Serah, who's delivery evaluator, also used it once. So it was widely used. So that's fantastic. I have given substantive, grammarian report to the speakers. So I'll only just note a few, maybe notable good uses and one for improvement, and they're very, very few. But overall, I'd like to say, I mean, given that this is an advanced Toastmasters club, overall, I think our grammar use was almost exemplary. One expression that I liked that caught my attention was something that was shared on the chat. Thoughts are like moving clouds. And I think it was shared by Toastmaster Leon De Silva, either a guest or a visiting Toastmaster. And by way of, making emphasis on during the evaluation, DTM Derrick Mandela said not once, not twice, not thrice, or something. Like he used that very emphatic language, and I found it to be, impactful in terms of use of the language. I only noted one improper use for improvement, and I'm very sorry to put Toastmaster Serah on the spot because I caught it and I was like, bingo, I have one thing to say in terms of improvement. So when she was giving the delivery evaluation to DTM Kevin Rubia, she was commenting on how sitting down, did not allow him to project his voice. And she said, his voice is swallowed in. And I'm sure it's a slip of the tongue, but a better, way to say it is the voice is drowned in, and maybe, talk about projection. With that, thank you for being, a great troop. And I remember the last time I did this role, I really, advocated for it to be turned into a department in a paid role, because it's not easy to keep an even kneel when doing this role, but I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, our super grammarian. In the event there will be a department, I'm sure you'll be heading that department and we will be reporting to you. So well done. I now would like to invite our general evaluator to give her report. I invite Area Director Carol Kodo. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I can't keep my keel. Oh my goodness, this meeting has been superb. I think maybe it's because it's my first experience of a real advanced Toastmasters meeting. I just got oh my God, a good treatment, let me say. I felt like I was sitting in a 7-star hotel in Toastmasters clubs. Starting with the president, I loved the wordplay. I learned a lot today from that session. The way you explained the whole Toastmasters meeting, anyone who had never attended a Toastmasters meeting would be right on chord with you. Then the Toastmaster of the Day picked up very nicely. Oh, she expertly showed us the art of facilitation by just facilitating in this session. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. The speeches were, oh my goodness, beautiful. 2 serious speeches, yet humor was in them, because mental health is a serious issue. And also just looking at your past, forgiving and forgetting is not an easy deal. But humor was put in. We learned, yet we had fun. The evaluations, oh, I don't know whether to say 4-tiered evaluations. There is delivery, there is content, there is grammar, and even more, the audience thought. You know, so you get the whole, it's not even a sandwich anymore. I think it's a whole meal of evaluation. Thank you, Watabaruku. That was beautiful. I really enjoyed the evaluations. Table topics, I had a ball. She was so good. She ensured everyone, even guests, participated. She even gave them the assurance that, you know what? Take your time. Speak on the spot. It is fine. And your time is 2 minutes. And the guests took up the challenge. And I was very happy about Gadoni. That was very, very nice today. Now, is there anything I feel Watabaruku can do better? I'm not sure when you get to an advanced class PhD, you're not supposed to cheer people on by clapping. There was very little clapping. The reactions were many, but the clapping was like, in fact, I thought, oh my goodness, maybe it's part of the seriousness in the meetings. So kindly just cheer on your fellow Toastmasters. Everything else was top-notch, starting on time, ending on time. Beautiful meeting. I have learned a lot. Keep up the good job. I would really love to come back again and again. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, our general evaluator, for that report. Kindly let us unmute and show that even as an advanced club, we can clap. Let's appreciate, unmute and clap for our area director. It's nice having you, Madam AD. Please come back. We would be honored to have you. As I come to the close of this particular segment, let us remember that facilitation is an art. Therefore, the context really matters. Remember, it's a process. Preparation should be done at all stages. Please listen actively. Listen to both verbal and, most importantly, non-verbal. And third, and most important, be the guide. Remain neutral. Remember, facilitation is a skill. So no matter how many times we speak about it, we may not have an opportunity to improve on it. Therefore, I urge each one of us seated here to ensure that we test our equanimity. Let us identify ways of keeping an even keel. Take up the stage, facilitate. Let us move from being good facilitators and become great facilitators. It was my joy and honor handling this particular segment. And now I would like to return the baton back to the President. Over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Fatma Amio, for that amazing and educational session. Indeed, you did edify us through all the tips that you provided to us this evening. You helped us become better facilitators in whatever sphere of our lives that we find ourselves having to do that. Thank you so much once again. Please, members of the audience, please give her another amazing applause for that great job that she has done. We now move on to the closing segment of our meeting. And first up, I'm going to be announcing the results of our polls, and the best table topics speaker is, drum rolls really quickly, Sydney Ngede. Congratulations, Sydney. The best evaluator is DTM Derrick Mandela. Congratulations, Derrick. The best speaker for this meeting is Dr. Kevin Rubia DTM. Congratulations, Dr. Kevin. And at this point, I would like also to recognize our two newest members of Watabaruku Toastmasters. First of all, we have Mine Maina, who joined us Thank you so much for becoming a part of our community, and also Paul Muwanga for joining our club. Thank you so much. I hope you're going to find a home in Watabaruku Toastmasters Club. And those of us who have joined us this evening, if you'd like to become a member of Watabaruku Toastmasters, you just need to have completed level 2. Please reach out to our VPM, Gilbert Rutembembera, and you're going to get the directions on how to do that. I would now like to request our Vice President Education, Kevin Rubia, to please confirm and fill any remaining roles for our next meeting.
Our next meeting, friends, will be on the 14th of November. It will be a club contest. All contests, international speech, evaluation, table topics, and humorous will be showcased at Watabaruku. Therefore, we have contestants and we have the role takers. Please join us for that annual event. Back to you, our president.
Thank you so much, Mr. VPE, for that. We look forward to the contest. And I would like to receive any feedback. We would like to receive any feedback from our guests. We really did enjoy having each and every one of you in this meeting. Anybody who would like to tell us how you found our meeting this evening? I'm going to give an opportunity to 3 of us. Anybody who would like to speak?
Yeah, I've unmuted, Robert. Maybe I can go.
You can go, please. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed my time here at Watabaruku. I'll first start with the Toastmaster of the day. Fatma, I think you did justice to the topic. Super Grammarian. I've never seen Tigist sweating so much, even though we did not see the real droplets. But I think the meeting was well executed and well handled. And also the evaluations were a highlight for me. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. President Robert.
Thank you so much, DTM Derrick, for joining us and for your feedback. Anybody else who would like to give us their thoughts for how they found this meeting? Anybody? I guess we're ready to go to bed, and I'm about to send you all to bed. Thank you so much. A big thank you to all our members, visitors, and visiting Toastmasters, visiting leaders for making time to be with us this evening. Like our VPE said, our next meeting is going to be on the 14th of November, same place, same time. Come and see us conduct our contest. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you again. And so with that, this meeting is adjourned. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good night.
Good night. And thank you for having me.
Good night. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
President. President Robert.